done way earlier than what I used to. And I had much more energy, but be tired by be in bed by 7:30 or 8 o'clock that night because I was so tired. But I can totally relate to what the guy was saying about getting up early. And lately, since January, since we were sick, I haven't been back on schedule yet, really. And I can totally tell the difference by not getting up at 4 or 5 a.m. like I normally do. I guess it's really weird.
Well, awesome
You're
stuff.
live.
You're evolving into this, full-time online entrepreneur, and of course you got your daughter as well. Esther, welcome everybody. We're live, by the way. Jackie, are we live?
You're live.
Hey, we're live. Right. So as you know what, you just reminded me and the meeting before the meeting, for those who are just joining us live now, was pretty robust with some great ideas. But you just reminded me of something that Tom Edison, great inventor, probably the greatest inventor, was retired and his life. And my okay, do you think that if you become this, I'm just going to use the term rich and famous, okay? A lot of you probably not that interested in being famous, and you may have some added meaning to the word rich, which we can work on. There's nothing wrong with being rich. It's actually quite noble. Best way to help the poor is to not be one of them, in case you're wondering. Okay, but let's say that it actually worked and you became this wildly successful person in the online business space. Do you suspect that your name would be worth something.com? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I know we got some people considering, should I buy a domain? By the way, domains cost about $10 a year to register. So you can go to whatever your favorite registrar is. I use GoDaddy because their customer service is amazing. I think I pay $12 a year instead of 10. I don't know, whatever, but they're awesome. There's Namecheap. You save a couple bucks. There's some other ones too, but you go and you register yourname.com. If you go to johnlavenia.com, guess who you're going to see? Now, let's say I didn't do that. Okay. Now I also have a website there and I've got multiple businesses I run and all that. But let's say you didn't do that. Now you're rich and famous. Somebody else bought your name. And if your name's very common, like Bob Smith or something, well, that one may not be available. But, Bob Smith Marketing or, figure out something pretty close. So you can capture, that domain or multiple domains. Okay. I've also got a misspelling of my name because my name, a lot of people think it's Lavinia with an I in the middle instead of an E. It's Lavenia. But anyway, so let's say you didn't secure those domains, okay? And now you're rich and famous. There's going to be somebody in Indonesia who will happily sell you back your own name for $20,000 or more. It happens all the time, okay? Go to tomcruise.com. Who do you think you're going to see? Go to, I don't know, name any famous, Oprah, right? What are you going to see? Own your name and any variations of it that you might like, or any brand names that you're going to pursue with Amazon. Do it now before it's worth anything. Right now it's worth $10. Anybody can buy it. You buy it. That's the point. All right. So great tip from Tom there. And then, yeah, you can set up a website. You can set up email addresses. You can do what you like with that. but at least grab the domain. I think I own 300 domains between me and my wife. We don't use them all. The most I've ever paid for one is $12,000 for a premium domain that somebody else had that they were just sitting on. I wound up buying it for 12 grand. Good domain too. Anyway, that's cheap. That's cheap, by the way. People spend a lot more. All right. So what I wanted to talk with you about today and how that relates to the topic is the concept, which I've shared with you guys in the past, and which we have so many people here, most have never heard of, the concept of thinking from the end. Thinking from the end. Listen to the words, okay? So a lot of people, we were just talking about goal setting. We heard Esther talking and counseling with someone about that before we went live, right? Proper goal setting. A lot of times when people think of where they want to go in their life, they think of the end. They think of, won't it be nice then? Once I've made the money, once I've had the success, once I got the Lamborghini, whatever, right? So that's a nice vision for, some other time. It's not a current reality in my life. Therefore, it is separate from me. I am not having that experience now. I want that experience. And as long as we operate from the position of wanting, that means we don't have. Now, what's the greatest wealth creation emotion in the world? And if you guys are new here, I'll just give you the answer. It's gratitude. We're grateful for stuff we have, not for stuff we lack. We're grateful for my health. I'm so grateful, right? My happy, healthy daughter, right? My abilities, my 5 physical senses, my ability to think and, come up with ideas and to support myself and create a lifestyle and all that stuff. So we're grateful for things we have. Some people make a gratitude list. Okay. So when we think of the end, we're thinking apart from that, there's some other better future that isn't my current reality. The trick is to think from the end. I know one or two of you have heard of an author named Neville. Neville Goddard. He was like a Christian mystic guy from Barbados. Anyway, he wrote some interesting books. And you guys know I've been studying, philosophy and theology and everything else for 35 years. But one of the things he talked about was thinking from the end. And he's just one of the guys who described this. And he said, what you want to do is you want to experience the gratitude for something as if you already have it now. He wasn't the first guy to come up with this stuff. We can go back thousands of years, read scripture, read whatever you want. It's the same truth. Okay. So what we're thinking of is right now, how does it feel? This relates directly to goal setting. How does it feel to have already accomplished that goal? Again, this is a double whammy topic. You'll see why here in just a minute. Okay. So for you, we're talking about the most important piece of the puzzle right now, right? Which is who's steering the ship. Okay. So that's who's doing it. That's the biggest question. Not what do you do to get there. Sophie's going to teach you all that. She could teach anybody that, right? If you got the intelligence to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, you can learn the technical stuff and the research, right? Anyone with an interest will develop an aptitude for that stuff. That's the doingness. Okay. I'm talking about the beingness. Here's you doing it. Okay. Which you are we talking about here? The person who's hoping for someday a better reality, or the person who right now will not be denied? They already know that's a guaranteed future outcome. Okay. So let me start behaving like that now. We're thinking from the end. So now that you made the money, let's imagine here a little bit. Let's imagine here, which isn't limited by reason, by the way. The reason I brought up Neville is the title of one of his books was Imagination, Awakened Imagination. Yes, Awakened Imagination, where he was talking about thinking from the end, using your imagination. So now that I've already got the money, the car, the house, the Lamborghini, I don't know, whatever the image is that inspires you to get up in the morning, getting the kids to private school, right? Creating that retirement account, whatever it happens to be. What emotions are you experiencing now that you have that in your mind, in your imagination, in your psyche, which is your mind and spirit? Oh, I feel, you know what? I feel confident. I feel enthusiastic. I feel certain. I feel relaxed about everything in my life, including money. I feel like like a winner, a leader. I feel like in some ways that I am being a part of the solution in the lives of anyone I touch. That's a great feeling. That's a great position to operate from. So we're thinking from the end, the wish fulfilled, the goal achieved. We're thinking from the end. Now, what has to happen now that you've achieved that goal? Think now in your mind, use your imagination. Now that you've achieved that goal, now that you're making the 20,000 pounds a month, or the, whatever your particular vision is for yourself, what must you do? You must set a new goal. Think about this. Nothing rests. We talked about this, I think, at some point last week. You're either creating or destroying, right? You're either expanding or contracting, growing or dying, right? So what must we do lest we fall back into complacency and decay, right? Like the old tree that falls over and turns into dirt for the new trees, right? So we're not ready to turn into dirt yet. So we're going to have to keep growing. We have to keep reaching for the sky. So now that I reached this goal and I feel so confident, enthusiastic, and grateful, here's my next goal. So let's start behaving like the person who just reached this first goal. Let's think from the end. We haven't physically reached it yet, but let's be that person now, and let's start thinking about the next goal. And here's a trick on how to do that is think about the relationships you have in your life currently, right now, real time, present time, actual planet Earth reality. Okay. So you have a spouse, you have kids, you have coworkers, people that you interact with, friends. You go have coffee. Actually, right now you don't have coffee because everybody's on lockdown, but you can stand outside the store at the takeout place and you can drink your coffee. Okay. So let's think about those casual relationships that you already have now. By casual, I mean, you don't need a script, right? You just show up and you guys, how each other, talk and interact with each other. So that's a current reality. You can picture you're talking with this person. Now you're talking with this person from the position, thinking from the end, from the position that you've already reached the goal. Here's a question for me, right? So now that I'm making X amount of dollars and I've got the lifestyle, the accomplishments, right? How do I occur to my wife, and how does she occur to me? So here's me and my wife talking. I'm visualizing. I already know her. I know her facial expressions. I know all that. I'm actually visualizing what our relationship will occur as now that we've accomplished these goals. And we have some goals that we share. Okay. We got some other goals that we don't, that we go in different directions on. She's got her stuff. I got my stuff, but we're parents, right? We got common goals and some stuff. So now that we've accomplished that, how can I picture us having that relationship? That's also part of thinking from the end. Okay, that's a little bit of a trick there, because we're all involved with other people. We're involved with relationships. No matter how successful or unsuccessful we consider ourselves to be in life, we're all interacting with other people. Nobody goes and sits in a cave and accomplishes anything in life, right? And yes, I know there's some people that head over to India, they sit in a cave for a couple of years, they find themselves, and now they're back. The point is that the work happens in the marketplace, doesn't happen sitting in the cave. Okay. So can you think now from the end? Can you think about, you've accomplished the goals, you're having these relationships in your life. Maybe you're being congratulated. Can you picture yourself being congratulated by the person who said you couldn't do it? The naysayer who right now is thinking, oh, nobody makes money online. I know some of you have been confronted with that sort of antagonism, right? Can you picture them eating crow as you buy them a cup of coffee because you just made 20 grand this week or something? Here you go. I'll buy you lunch, right? We'll have a little conversation. Picture that stuff. Okay. So whatever motivates you, but think from the end. Now, here's why this is a double whammy. So now you're feeling empowered, you're feeling confident, enthusiastic, grateful for stuff you have. Not necessarily in the physical realm, although you keep thinking about this stuff. It keeps showing up. I'm telling you, be careful what you think about. It keeps showing up. Okay. So, which is why I very often said, be careful of the inputs, because we got a lot of inputs, which a lot of times we don't even think about. Right. And if it's doom and gloom and the sky is falling and you can't do anything about it, man, that's a tough thing to have your attention on. That's rough. That's the exact opposite of thinking from the end. Okay. So be really careful with the inputs. Be really careful of what environment you surround yourself with. Right. Part of, and I think we mentioned this yesterday, part of why we do these calls and stuff is because here's an empowering environment. At least that's my intent. I hope you're getting some, value from this based on the feedback I get. You are. Okay. So by the way, I welcome your feedback, questions, comments, whatever, right? Send them in. Nina can post our email address. If you want to go ahead and email me, she can. Thank you, Nina, our lovely assistant, Nina, right? Who I've never actually seen in person. You know what's interesting? I've been online marketing for decades. There are people I've made millions of dollars with I've never met in person. And I may or may not. Maybe we'll show up at a convention together sometime or whatever. But people are all over the world. It's kind of cool. So we definitely have a real community of people who we may not actually ever physically shake hands. Nina, thank you for that. Martin says, yes, this is extremely valuable, encouraging. Thank you, Martin. Okay, so we're thinking from the end. Okay, now how does this also work? Not just for your own mindset, your own knowingness about where you're going in your life. How does this work in terms of marketing to your public via Amazon or whatever the medium is? I'm going to give you the other side of the coin here. This will help you make money. I want you to think now about television. Okay, so here's television. And we're watching a commercial. This is an example that I've used many times because I think people just get it. Okay, again, the topic is thinking from the end. So the TV commercial starts with the mother in the kitchen. And the kitchen has white tile floors. White tile. Liz, I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic there. There we go. So the kitchen has white tile floors. There's lots of glass. There's lots of windows. The sun is coming in from the backyard. You could see the green trees. The leaves are on the trees. The sun is coming in, shining on the white countertop and the white tile floor. Okay. The sliding glass door opens, and in comes the son, right? Not the son, but her son, the child, right? Who's 5 years old, with the dog, and they've been playing in the mud, right? So on the white tile floor is the mud, the child and the dog footprints, okay? And because mom is a very smart shopper, mom has such and such, paper towels or squirty, cleaning stuff or whatever. And, other moms would be pissed off. I can't believe you just dragged the mud in. No, this mom is cool, calm, and collected. The foibles of children. And she squirty stuff and she wipes it off. And you see the glistening white tile floor with such ease and effortlessness. Mom cleans the mud. And the birds are chirping, man. And like, she's happy and she's confident. She puts her shoulder, leans her elbow on the counter. She's just satisfied with herself. Her life is good, man, because she bought the squirty stuff that's being advertised. What just happened in that commercial? They got you to think from the end. You're a busy mom. Half the time you're like screaming at the kids, oh my goodness, stop dragging the mud and get the friggin' dog out of here. No, hold on, mom. Your life can be like this if you just buy our brand of squirty stuff or the paper towels or whatever the product is. Okay. Your life will be great. Look at the white floor. Look at that happy mom. Do you see the smile on her face? Do you see the smile? Okay. That can be you. Buy our stuff. Thank you. That's the message. So they got you to think from the end. Your life will be like this. Think about every car commercial you've ever seen. Go to any car website right now and look at, are they just showing you specifications? They'll show you a picture of the engine too, if you care to see it. But the vast majority of the visuals that they're feeding you and little videos and stuff are of the ideal demographic. So let's say minivan, for example. Here's mom, here's the kids. They're happily driving the car. She very easily knows where she's going because she's got the nav system. The kids are playing with the little tablets in the back, so they're entertained, thinking from the end. Okay, so this works on you and it works on everybody else. Okay, run your own commercials in your mind for yourself about that guaranteed future outcome. Here's where you're going. Okay, act like you've already got it right now. Think constantly on that and close your mind tightly against any negative influences or things that would offer you a counter intention. Full intention, and get rid of that counter intention. Anything that tells you that no, you can't have, that's got to go. This is for you, okay? This doesn't profit me directly, it profits you directly. Now, how does it profit you again when you do that into the marketplace? Now you're posting your products on Amazon or whatever the medium is, the TV commercial, the radio ad, the internet, the website you just set up on yourname.com because you just registered the domain. Okay, fine. You're getting your customer, your public, your potential buyer to think from the end. There's one question that goes through everybody's mind whenever they make a buying decision. The question is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Okay, the squirty stuff? I don't know. Oh, the ease of use with the clean tile floor and the birds chirping. Sign me up for that. Here's my money, right? Nobody's reading the label on the squirty stuff or counting the fibers on their paper towels. I guess some people are. Yes, there are a couple of people who probably do that. 0.001% of the people, right? So there's a big difference between features and benefits. What's in it for me answers the question, the benefit. What is the benefit? Why should I care? What's in it for me, right? Get that person, whoever is potentially going to hand you some money, get them thinking from the end. Your life will be better if you buy my stuff. And that leads us to another topic, which we're not going to cover now because it's a huge topic, and it's the unique selling proposition. The unique selling proposition, big topic. Okay, but why should I buy from you right now and not from any of your competitors, and not just sit here and do nothing? If you can answer that question, you've got what's called the unique selling proposition. That's a big topic. Companies take years to figure that out, but just think from the end. Start with that. Know who you are. Know where you're going. Act like that now. Be that person now. And help your customer, okay? And I know some of you are getting ready to start listing products here, okay? Help your customer think from the end as well, okay? And I know specifically on Amazon, you've got certain restrictions on, we got to have photo of just the product. And you can also have photos of people using the product, but there's got to be primary photos of just the product itself, right? And lots of, standards to comply with there. But then, of course, there's all your bullet points. There's all your descriptions, right? Who writes those words? Hopefully somebody who's got some good words to write and can conjure up some visualization in the mind of the reader. I've been talking for 22 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now. Thank you, guys. Yeah, GoPro. I see Alex says GoPro, very good example of this. Yeah, so GoPro, what? It's a little camera device. Whatever, who cares? There's millions of cameras, right? Oh, look at the shots that they took. Look at I'm surfing now. I'm surfing. I'm riding my motorcycle. I'm jumping off cliffs. I'm doing my thing, right? That's who they're selling to, right? Floor is open, you guys. You want to talk? Come on out and talk. And I hope you got some value out of this. And again, if you want to send me some feedback, questions, comments, ideas, johnl@knowledgesource.com.au, and Nina put that in the chat. Yvonne's got the floor. Hey, Yvonne.
Oh, I didn't mean to press the button.
Oh, well, you did very well pressing it. You can go ahead and press it again. Good to see you, Yvonne. Right. Yeah, that's Yvonne, everybody. Nida's got the floor.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like you said, I've had the only family that actually encourages me, or friends, is my actual, immediate family, my husband, my kids. But I've never had any family member or friends ever encourage me. They've always said, "Oh no, you can't do that." And I'm the type of person, the more you tell me no, no means nothing to me. It's like a challenge to move forward with what I want. And the more, that's why the more people tell me, I say, yeah, can you please, yes, continue, say no. Just tell me no always. And they're like, why? And I said, because the more you tell me no, the more determined I become to want to achieve what I want. And it has helped me successfully. I got a master's degree. I finished school. I've achieved everything I've ever wanted. I have a nice home. I have a nice car, a good job. And I have to say that now with this goal of opening my own business and being successful at it, I'm more determined than ever, because the more people tell me no, girl, please, how do you think you're going to achieve what you're looking for? There's no way. I'm like, okay, yes, please continue to tell me no, because you know what? The more you say no, the more determined I become of achieving what I want. And I said, and I'm successful and I have what I have because of my determination, not because anyone else has encouraged me. Because granted, my family, they think I'm crazy, my husband and my kids, because I'm always on the go. But I looked at them and I laughed and I said, well, if it wasn't because of my determination, my want and drive to achieve what I want, then you wouldn't have somebody to come to ask the questions you do, or when you're uncertain of whatever it is you're trying to achieve, or if you have questions of your own, they always come to me. And every family member and even friends. And I'm like, why are you coming to me? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. Why you guys seem to think and say, well, because you've done it all. You're a very intelligent woman. And I say, yeah, but you've always guys told me no. Yeah, but you never listened to us. So, and I was like, yeah, that's right. Because, it's all what you want to achieve. I'm the youngest in my whole entire family. And all my older sisters have always been, oh, the rich girl. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, right. I wish. No, it's because I'm determined. And I move forward anything I want to achieve. And this is another obstacle that it's an obstacle right now, but I'm definitely going to achieve it. So I'm going to, no matter what anybody tells me, I don't care what and even if I fail 20 times, I'm going to continue at it because I know at some point I'm going to get there.
Amen. Thank you, Nida. You know what? When I finally became successful in business, I actually said out loud, I will succeed or I will be a bloody corpse. One or the other. Either one's fine. I don't care. Let's do it. Right. And all of a sudden people started throwing money at me. It was that resolve. It was that definiteness of purpose.
That determination.
Yeah. Hey, quick tech tip. Your Nina, I'm talking to you specifically.
Oh, okay.
Your ear is back directly on the microphone. Every time you move, it's like a little wrecking ball hitting the microphone, little explosion. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's something. It's right there. It's like a little wrecking ball hitting the microphone. Yeah. Maybe move it down a little bit. Or
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? Like crash, crash. Yeah. While I was talking. All right. Good stuff. Who else wants to talk today?
Well, I will.
Hey, Karen.
I ran into the same thing, and I think I told you a little bit how when I first started doing this, my brother was who takes care of me. He's great. He's in his 70s and his wife, and they just worry about me. And they were, well, the questions they asked were really negative. And finally, I told them, if you're not going to say good things, don't say anything. And they did okay. And I told a friend, and she was kind of negative. And I finally told her, I wish I hadn't told you. But there is one friend who has really been great and really been supportive. And has told me, you're finally using your brain again, because for a couple of years I just kind of sat here trying to figure out what to do. And she said, I talked to her last night, and she said, God, it sounds so great, and you just sound so excited, and you're busy all the time. And but she's great too, because I said, I don't know what to do with my horse because he needs work, and I said, I'm not out there enough. And she said, you need to make time for him. You need to put a couple of hours aside and go out and work it, which is just what I'm told with you guys. And instead I was thinking, okay, I don't have time for him. I'm going to have to sell him, which I can't do that. He's too much of a problem. But anyway, I said, they tell me that too. You've got to make time. And so that's what I need to do on my schedule, because I could sit down here and start going, and then I just don't stop. And then I sit down at about 7 or something, try to eat dinner, and then I'm falling asleep at 8. It's not getting me anywhere. So anyway, I'm still working on getting my schedule and getting up, following. I'm only going to do this for an hour and then starting something else that I have on my schedule. That's what I'm tough at doing.
Sounds like a plan. And at the outset, as you know, Karen, new habits are hard to form, right? So, that decision, just stick with it. And you're brilliant, Karen. You'll do brilliantly. So thank you for always giving some great insights here. So everybody should get to know Karen. She's awesome.
Hi, Karen.
All right.
Hey.
Who's next?
Hello, Blue
This is
Sky
Elaine.
family.
Oh my goodness. Is that Raquel?
It is. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say that this has been a game changer for not only me, but my family and the idea of personal development. As you said, the pieces of learning are all going to come because we have a great process to follow. But the personal development is what sends you up into that 10%. I felt like my kids they're getting this now. What would I have done if I had this when I was 16 years old? Where could I be? And it's just amazing to me to listen to Brian Tracy and all of the speakers that have come through on the Jetstream pack. And now my children get one every day. They're 14 and they're 16. And of course, we're homeschooling. And so in this crisis, and it is it's huge. It's not just huge for me, but it's huge for them too. And I'm so thankful. I just want everybody to know that I'm thankful for this group and I'm thankful for the materials that are coming my way. So thank you.
Oh, well, so glad you're here as well, Raquel, and that your kids are involved too. That is so cool. And I wish I had gotten the message when I was a youth. It would have probably paid huge dividends, right? So well done on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who else? We have Elaine here. We have, who else is unmuted?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I really love the idea of thinking from being in the success story rather
Right.
than looking at it down the road. I think that's a really nice way of doing it, and just putting all the things together. I wrote a year plan yesterday, quite detailed in terms of what it was going to do and what I was going to do to get there. And, that in itself is exciting. And I just can't get the picture of what this is going to be like, out of my head now. It's just there. And that's
Yeah.
really wonderful because, I am stumping looking for a product, and it's just, that's the real work that goes into it. And I just would like to add another product a month for the next year, at least one product a month for the next year. But I have to start with the first one. And, so having the end to think about while I am digging around and trying to figure out the numbers and everything that are a little bit skewed right now. So it's really hard to do the comparisons and everything. And, anyway, thinking from the end is a lovely idea.
Elaine,
Thank
that
you.
is awesome. And so now you've got the picture crystallizing in your mind. You're actually feeling it, and
Yeah.
you actually start making better decisions. Think about it like this. I've heard the saying, no intelligent action can come from a fearful mind, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So with that heightened level of enthusiasm and knowing this, we have other distinctions. We could see things that the fearful or the downtrodden cannot see. So
Yeah.
well done, Elaine.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
truly.
All right. We got a couple people with their hands up. Evelyn, there's Evelyn.
Hi, yeah, that's a great segue to my question. What do you have to say about fear of success, or fear of failing, or fear of success?
Oh, well, which one are we talking about?
Well, fear of failing.
Fear of failing. Okay. So there's a couple of different things we could do with that. I'm going to refer you to, I think, the best book on wealth creation that's ever been written, which is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The final chapter, the epilogue, is The 6 Ghosts of Fear. You got to read the other chapters to get to it, but it is like the grand finale that will rock your world. Now, a shorter answer would be worst case scenario. So considerations of worst case scenarios. What is the worst case scenario if you said fail? Okay. So first of all, let's define fail. So fail means you didn't get the desired result. What is the opposite of failure? Success. So success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So worthy ideal not realized. So it's all on a gradient. There's a gradient scale between success and failure. So failure is never absolute. They are learning experiences in the process of you deliberately taking action to reach the ideal that's worthy of your time, right? That's why you're showing up here. You're doing stuff. You've decided this is where I'm going. Great. So now I'm going to progressively make that more real in my life. All right. So what is failure then? It's a learning opportunity. Okay. Some people choose to learn from their so-called failures. Some people choose to identify as a failure. So that missing the mark, that failed attempt, okay, means I'm a failure. Oh, that's a rough spot to be in right there. That's a rough spot. So there's an upward spiral when you look at these so-called failures, which are events. Okay, they're not identities; they're events. When you look at these so-called failures, think of it like a golfer, right? Like Tiger Woods. He sliced the ball, right? Well, you know what? I'm better than that. I'm better than that. Here's the next ball. Oh, perfect, right? Yeah. See, that's the way I shoot the golf ball. Okay, so that's the upward spiral. That's self-talk, knowing that you can. All right. But if you get into identifying with the failure as who you are, then it's the downward spiral. Tiger Woods has done both. You've seen his upward spiral. And for those of you who follow golf, you've seen his downward spiral. A lot of that was right here. Okay. So So consider that. I hope that helps, Evelyn. But what's the worst case? You get to pick yourself up and do it again. Nobody's going to lose an arm, right? I mean, in the whole world of problems, right, which is also on a gradient scale, you got huge problems, right? Like bullets flying and, starvation and everything else. And then you got, first world problems, so to speak, right? Hey, you know what? We had a product that didn't catch fire like we hoped it would. Guess what? There's 7 billion customers on the planet. Here comes our next product. Can't win them all. Can't lose them all either. So I hope that gives you some perspective. And Evelyn, I'd like to talk with you more, and we'll talk more about that.
Well, actually, I actually asked for my son because we were talking about this yesterday. He wants to start a YouTube channel, and then we were talking about that. But for me, it's I really think of drawbacks. The word failure doesn't come into my mind, but a drawback, and then I feel like it's challenging. I feel like it's exciting because I get to solve it. But there's another thing, the fear of success. I think that applies to me more. What is the fear of success? What do you do with that?
Oh, typically that's just a fear of criticism. People tend to not commit to their own successful actions because what will they think? The purpose of the herd is to keep you in the herd. Okay. So now let's say that you 10x your income. Okay. What is that going to do? Remember, I mentioned relationships. What is that going to do in the relationships that you already have in your life? There are people who are antagonistic and, in fact, critical of successful people. Some of this stuff has been handed down from generation to generation of ignorant but well-meaning people, right? For whatever their leanings are in terms of their belief systems or religion or what have you, right? Poor as a church mouse. Where'd that saying come from? So like the pious little mouse in the church is poor, and that's good. Poor is good. Oh, those rich bad people. Do you ever see the movie Spider-Man? Sony Columbia Pictures put out Spider-Man, I don't know, it was 20 years ago. And Uncle Tom or Bob or whatever his name was, the uncle who was raising, of course, the orphan, right? Every superhero's got to be an orphan. Every Disney movie, there's got to be an orphan. Okay, so what's Spider-Man's name?
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. So here's Peter Parker. Thank you, Jason. So Peter Parker has poor Uncle Tom, Bob, I can't remember the guy's name, Frank. And at one point in the movie, Uncle says, well, we may not be rich, but at least we're honest. Right there. Bad people are dishonest. Bad people or rich people are dishonest. They're unethical, right? We'll we might be rich, but at least we're honest. Little subtle stuff like there. So I would say reinterpret your relationships with other people who you may right now, knowingly or less than knowingly, be seeking approval or agreement from. Read the book. All right, so here's 2 books for you now. You're getting ready to read. Read Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brande. Wake Up and Live, written in 1936. In fact, the same exact year that Think and Grow Rich was published. Those 2 books came out. Dorothea Brande, she changed her whole life around. Her business was failing, everything. With one sentence that she said to herself: act as though it were impossible to fail. That's it. And the first 4 chapters of the book are brutal. It's all about the rewards of failure and why people love it. There's a lot of tacit consent, unspoken agreement, societally, when we're living based on limitations. And we all get to agree with each other, we get to moo and chew our cud and walk around in our own crap and go nowhere together. But it's very social. It's all very nice. Yeah.
What's her name?
Kind of a bold book. Yeah. Evelyn, is that? I'm sorry.
What is her name?
Dorothea.
That was
Brande.
great. That was great, John. Thank you.
Okay, good. So Wake Up and Live, I think it's out of print. Actually, I think somebody reprinted it because I recommended it so many times that somebody was like, we need to republish this book.
Oh.
Dorothea Brande, Wake Up and Live. In fact, it's one of the books that Earl Nightingale recommended in his classic audio, The Strangest Secret.
Yeah, he was
Those of
great.
you who've been through Jetstream or are going through Jetstream, you will be exposed to that. That is some good stuff right there. So anyway, that was one of the ones he said, pick up a copy of Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brande, if you could still find a copy. That's what he said in 19 52 or whenever that recording was made as a classic recording. All right. So Karen had a question. Karen?
I just wondered what, I can't get her last name.
Oh, Brand, Brande. Dorothea Brand. Jason.
Yes. Have you listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I've done events with Joe.
What's that? Yeah, I've done. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff, but you know, the fact he talks about familiarization of our patterns that we get addicted to,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming around and changing thought processes. How we think will change our personality, but that's why it's so hard to get out of these patterns that we're in, because we become addicted to them. It's like this need of whether it be, you know, a failure thing or whatever it is. You get this process going, and it's like the spiral. Well, the spiral is going down, and you get so addicted to that, but the spiral can go up at the same time, like you say. But yeah, changing your thoughts will inevitably start to change your personality and how you think and how you process and how you actually interact with everybody. It's quite interesting. I'm starting to listen to it, and the things that I've been saying to my kiddo and other people, they're kind of like looking at me like, what? Like my personality is already starting to change just based on the things that I'm reading and things that I'm thinking and meditating and all that kind of stuff. It's been really interesting. So and we all have those things of, you know, fear of failure or of success or all that kind of stuff. A lot of us do, but trying to come up with a different thought process to get us out of that and to rechannel the spiral back in a different direction. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take any work to grow weeds in the garden, right? So thinking is hard. Yeah.
What does he say? The reticular activating center of the brain. From the I'm just reading one of the books right now, the only book I have actually, because the other ones still haven't come. But it's the like doing the same thing over and over. I can't remember the name of the book, I'm sorry, but he talks about the reticulating activating center of the brain, that we have learned certain things from a very young age, and that's the way we think. And the way we think about money and success has been sort of standardized in there, like punched in when we were very young, and it's really difficult to overcome it. It takes a lot of work to overcome it. And to keep on moving into an idea of wealth is not a bad thing, and you know, just to be able to accept it and embrace it.
Yeah, it's work, Elaine. You got it. So thank you, Jason. Thank you, Elaine. We've got 4 people with their hands raised, and then we're going to have to wrap up. So I think Darren had the floor next. Go ahead, Darren. Did you want to talk?
Yeah. So literally, this came up yesterday in the session, but I had a real big hurdle with Amazon signing up, because the country that I'm born in isn't listed on their list of countries that you can be born in. And I got this strong email from them saying, don't even attempt to put another country in, because you will fail the process. So I was kind of thinking about this today, and I was, flipping it, you know, I've just, you know, I haven't even started yet, and Amazon have already shut me down. And I think it's easy when you get faced with these hurdles to kind of give up and to think, okay, well, this is it. This is not for me. But I'm determined to find a way to overcome this hurdle. There must be a solution, and not to be shut down right at the beginning. But I think
Tolo's got an answer. Tolo?
Yeah, Darren, the same thing happened to me too. And they didn't shut me down, but when I was filling the form, there was nowhere where I was born was. So because I'm a British citizen, I just took British, UK, and it accepted it. I
mean, I was going to do that. And then the person who responded to me just said, because I'm a UK citizen, and they said, you might be a UK citizen, but don't put United Kingdom as your place of birth, because you'll fail. But I was just thinking, like, you know, these things get thrown your way. And when you're starting out in a process, I'm fortunate that I run 2 businesses. already, and I've hit lots of hurdles and stuff. And I think it's very easy to get faced with something like this and to just give up.
Did you call somebody? Because you did it online. Did you call somebody? Oh, you called somebody.
No, because I only got the email this morning, so I've not actually I've not done anything with it.
Or
So
did you email them? You emailed them?
I emailed the support just because while I was setting it all up,
Okay.
my country doesn't appear. But yeah, anyway, so it just, as far as today goes, what you said, John, is about, sort of seeing the end game. And I still see myself as an Amazon seller. I still see myself running a successful Amazon business. But I just
you're just getting started. I mean, one data point isn't going to take you out of the game, right? So we'll get it handled, right? It's logistic, and once it's handled, it's handled. That's it. So I'm not like an Amazon advisor, okay? But you will get this handled, okay? And you guys can communicate directly with customer support at knowledgesource.com.au. I know Nina had put that in the chat here as well. So customer support, they are here for you. All right. So this, and look, there's 195 countries currently on planet Earth, 195. So they should probably all be listed. And if they're not, it sounds like just a tech issue to me. So, okay. We got to wrap up here really soon. Thank you, Darren. I had 3 other people with their hands up and 1 vanished. So Virginia and Minnie. Virginia, you've got the floor, please.
Hi, I just wanted to address very quickly on the lady who was talking about failure and succeeding, the fears there. And I always try to remember Thomas Edison's famous quote, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." So that's just an inspiration to continue with that. It says, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." And the book that she was referring to with the reticular brain is Consistency. I've just finished reading it. It's excellent. And that just reinforces, what Thomas Edison is saying. Just keep trying one more time. Just be consistent. So that's just it. I just wanted to, give a little feedback on that. All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Great stuff there's Virginia, everybody. Everybody get to know Virginia. She knows stuff. She's awesome. Minnie, let's wrap up with Minnie.
Hi. So I guess this is kind of a question/comment. I'm hearing a lot of great things about Jetstream and the mindset with Jetstream. And I was just wondering when we can expect to receive those series. I haven't received anything yet for Jetstream.
Okay. Who's your accountability rep?
Jackie.
Oh, Jacqueline's awesome. They're all awesome, actually. But Jacqueline is especially awesome. Minnie, do you know how to contact Jacqueline?
Yeah. Should I just send her an email and just ask?
Yeah. Make sure that you got what you need. That's her domain, right? She holds the keys. So make sure you got that. Get in touch with. In fact, everybody, if you're going through or you haven't yet been through Jetstream, make sure you're in close communication with your accountability rep. There's one thing that they've all definitely done right was make sure that you got here. Okay. And you may have gotten a bunch of emails about this too, but the point is that there's more than just the technical aspect of this. There's the human aspect of this. In fact, it's a huge part of this, which is why we're all here right now. So Minnie, get with Jacqueline. She'll make sure that maybe she's got a wrong email address or something for you, or let's get that cleared up. All right.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Very good, my friends. We got to go ahead and wrap up. John and Kim unmuted. John, you got a comment? Keep it open. You got it, brother. Your wish is my command. Kim?
I just wanted to add to the perspective of thinking from the end. Personally, I don't feel like I struggle with that because I can see the end goal. Especially after I made my vision board, I can definitely see that that's where I want to get to. But I guess where I'm struggling is all the little steps that it takes to get to the end, to get everything that we're learning right now and all the little pieces that need to be put together. And so I just want to share yesterday I was able to speak with my daughter. She was going through something and shared with her something that I learned in the Millionaire Mind. And at the end of the conversation, she said, "Well, how's it going with your business, Mom?" And I said, oh, I said, I'm just struggling a little bit. I said, because I just have all these little pieces that I need to put together, the puzzle pieces. And she said something so wise to me. She said, Mom, she said, I want you to think about the foundation. And I said, well, okay, well, what do you mean? And she says, you're building a foundation for your business. She said, and just like any house, she says, that foundation has to be solid before you can put anything on top of that, and for it to stand and to stand well. And that really made me think. I thought, wow, that's a really good a picture, because I see things, visually. And I thought that's a great picture, for me to see, just that I'm building, I'm building to where I want to be, where I want to go. And I guess I want to add to that, just, think it, when we think about, what's in our mind. And I guess what rises up for me is there's a scripture that says, you cast down imaginations. And so often we can create these things in our mind, pictures in our mind, thoughts in our mind, things that we see, that aren't there, oh, I'm going to fail at this, or I'm not good at this, or I'm not good with numbers, or whatever the case might be, whatever you're struggling with in your mind. And so the first thing to do is just capture that thought. When that thought comes in, just take that and say, is that really a truth? Is that a truth? And so, begin to think, I can do this. I can see that. I can see the end goal, so think it, see it, speak it, and receive it. So that's all I got.
Thank you. There's our icing on the cake. Thank you, Kim, and very good insights from your daughter as well. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and exit. I wish you all a beautiful day. You absolutely deserve it. We're going to leave the room open if you guys want to do some kibitzing with each other. So good to see you all. I'll be back here with you again tomorrow.
Hi,
All right,
John.
guys. Bye for now.
Bye.
Hi, John.